In today's story, a woman discovers that her sister's surprise wedding guest has brought evidence of a loan fraud committed in her name. Before we begin, settle in and enjoy tonight's story. My sister invited my ex to her wedding because she needed my signature. My ex was standing beside the wedding cake when I arrived. He was not speaking to another guest or waiting awkwardly near the entrance. He was holding a black document folder and watching the ballroom doors as if he had been told exactly when I would appear. I stopped so suddenly that the woman behind me walked into my shoulder. I had not seen Marcus in almost 3 years. The last time had been through the kitchen window of the flat we shared, when he loaded 2 suitcases into his car while I stood inside trying to understand why he had packed during my workday. He had blocked my number before reaching the end of the road. My sister knew all of that. She also knew I would never willingly attend an event where Marcus was present. Yet there he was, wearing a dark suit at her wedding, holding paperwork. My sister was near the bar with her bridesmaids. I crossed the room and asked, "Why is Marcus here?" She looked toward him, then back at me. "Please don't make this difficult." That answer told me 3 things immediately. She knew he was coming. Our mother knew too, and both of them had expected the setting to keep me quiet. What does he want? He needs to clear up a business issue. At your wedding, it will take 5 minutes. What business issue? The photographer called her name from the dance floor. My sister touched my arm as if she were calming an unreasonable child. "We'll talk after the ceremony." Then she walked away. Marcus approached before I could follow her. "I thought she told you," he said. "You thought my sister told me she had invited the man who disappeared from my home?" His expression tightened. "I'm not here about us. That makes one of us." He held out the folder. "I need you to read something." I did not take it. The ceremony coordinator began directing guests toward their seats. My mother appeared beside me and gripped my elbow. "Not today," she whispered. "Did you know he was invited?" She avoided my eyes. "Your sister has enough pressure." That was confirmation. They had planned this together. They had put Marcus in the room, surrounded me with relatives and wedding guests, and expected me to sign whatever he was carrying rather than risk causing a scene. I sat through the ceremony because I did not yet know what they wanted. My sister married Callum, a commercial property surveyor who appeared to have no idea why Marcus was seated 2 rows behind me. He smiled during the vows. My sister smiled back. Our mother cried. Marcus kept the black folder on his lap. After the photographs, I went outside onto the hotel terrace and opened a taxi app. Marcus followed me. "Give me 5 minutes. You've had 3 years. This is not about the breakup." "Then say what it is." He opened the folder and removed a company document. The name at the top was Northbridge Events Limited. My sister's name appeared under the heading Director. Marcus's name appeared beneath hers. Mine did not. For one moment, I thought I had misunderstood why he was there. Then he turned the page. It was a personal guarantee for a business loan worth £74,000. The borrower was Northbridge Events. The guarantor was me. My address, date of birth, and passport number were printed beneath my name. At the bottom was a signature close enough to mine that I felt physically ill. "I have never seen this," I said. Marcus watched my face. "She said you agreed to guarantee the loan." She lied. She had copies of your identification. My passport went missing 2 years ago. The moment I said it, I remembered my sister kneeling beside me on my bedroom floor, opening boxes and pretending to help me search. Our mother had kept a scanned copy from years earlier when I had asked her to handle paperwork while I was traveling. My sister knew where it was. Marcus turned to another page. The lender had sent a default notice. Northbridge had missed 3 repayments and breached the terms of the loan. Unless the company paid or disputed the guarantee, the lender intended to pursue me personally. The flat I owned was listed as my principal asset. My ex handed me a loan guarantee at my sister's wedding. Her company owed £74,000, and my name was listed as the person responsible for repaying it. Someone had used my passport, copied my signature, and listed my flat as an asset. I had never heard of the loan, but the lender was already preparing to come after me. I asked why Marcus had brought the documents to a wedding instead of contacting me directly. She said, "You wouldn't answer me. You never tried." She said your number had changed. It hasn't. Marcus looked back toward the ballroom. She told me the only way to resolve this was to bring the release form today. What release form? He removed one final sheet. It stated that I acknowledged signing the original guarantee, but had misunderstood its purpose. In exchange for confirming that version of events, Northbridge would seek to remove me from future liability once the company refinanced. There was no promise that the lender would accept it. It did not release me from anything. It merely converted a forged document into one I had admitted signing. You expected me to sign this? No, but you brought it. I brought it because your sister said you had already agreed. Then why are you showing me the rest? Marcus hesitated. Because the company is worse than she told me. Northbridge Events had arranged corporate retreats, weddings, and private functions. The business grew quickly by offering lower prices than established agencies and taking large customer deposits months in advance. My sister managed suppliers and clients. Marcus handled accounts and taxes. For almost 2 years, the company appeared profitable. Then a hotel group cancelled 3 events after discovering that Northbridge had not paid several subcontractors. Refund requests arrived at the same time suppliers demanded overdue balances. The money was gone. Marcus had started reviewing transactions and found payments to a consultancy called Wren Strategy. The company belonged to our cousin's husband. It had no employees, no office, and no obvious reason to receive tens of thousands of pounds from an events business. My sister claimed the payments covered marketing and client acquisition. Marcus asked for invoices. She gave him generic documents with no descriptions of completed work. Then she told him the real problem was the loan attached to my name. She said you had agreed to help temporarily, he said. I didn't even know the company existed. She showed me emails from you. He displayed them on his phone. The messages came from an address containing my full name and birth year. They were short and formal. I'm comfortable proceeding. Please keep communication through Sophie. Approved from my side. They sounded plausible because they barely sounded like anyone. Marcus admitted he had never spoken to me directly. After our breakup, my sister told him I did not want contact and that any company matters should go through her. He had accepted that because it suited him. He had wanted the investment, the company had been growing, and avoiding me was easier than asking questions. That did not make him an innocent victim. It made him a willing idiot. The ballroom doors opened behind us. My sister walked onto the terrace. She saw the guarantee in my hands and stopped. What are you doing? She asked Marcus, telling her what she signed. I didn't sign it. My sister looked at me. You said you would help. When? Years ago. When I first talked about starting something, I said your ideas sounded good. You said family should support family. That is not permission to forge my signature. She lowered her voice. No one forged anything. I held up the guarantee, then explained this. You authorized Mum to use your documents. For my father's paperwork, you never said they could only be used once. For a moment, none of us spoke. It was such an absurd argument that I almost laughed. My mother appeared at the terrace door. She had clearly been watching from inside. I asked her whether she gave my passport scan to my sister. She glanced at the guests behind her. This is not the place. That means yes. Your sister needed identification for the application. Did she tell you I had agreed? She said you were helping. Did you ask me? My mother looked away. She had not asked because she did not want an answer that complicated things. My sister had always been the child who needed rescuing. When she failed exams, the teachers were unfair. When she lost jobs, the managers were jealous. When she borrowed money, she had been put under pressure. My mother treated every consequence as something the rest of us should absorb. My sister reached for the folder. Marcus moved it away. You said she signed everything, he told her. She did. Then why are you worried about her seeing it? My sister said Marcus was trying to save himself. He replied, yes. That honesty seemed to unsettle her more than a denial would have. He explained that he had already reported concerns to the company's insolvency advisor. If I signed the acknowledgement, it would protect the original guarantee and support my sister's claim that the business records were valid. If I refused and reported identity fraud, the lender would investigate how the guarantee had been obtained. Marcus had decided he would rather face professional discipline for negligence than continue supporting the fraud. My sister stared at him. "You were supposed to bring the form, not explain it." That was the clearest admission she had made. The groom stepped onto the terrace. Callum looked from my sister to Marcus, then to the papers. "What form?" My sister said it was a business matter. Callum asked what business. "Northbridge," Marcus said. Callum looked blank. He did not know the company existed. My sister had told him she worked independently as an event coordinator. He knew she arranged bookings and dealt with venues, but he had never been told she owned a limited company, had taken out loans, or was working with Marcus. He asked why my ex-boyfriend was involved. Marcus said, "Because I'm the accountant." Callum looked at me, "And you?" "Apparently I'm the guarantor." The reception room behind us had become quiet. My sister began crying. She said the company had suffered a temporary cash flow problem. She said 3 cancelled events had created a shortfall that would be fixed when new bookings came in. I asked where the loan money had gone. She said it had covered ordinary business expenses. Marcus opened his laptop. He showed us the Wren strategy payments. Over 14 months, Northbridge had transferred £58,000 to the consultancy. Wren had then paid several suppliers connected to the wedding, the hotel deposit, the florist, the photographer, the band, the dress boutique. Callum stared at the transaction list. "You used company money for this wedding?" My sister said no. She claimed Wren Strategy had provided wedding planning services as part of a promotional arrangement. Marcus asked why the same consultancy had also paid for her honeymoon flights. She stopped crying. That was when Callum understood that the wedding itself was part of the fraud. My sister's business was collapsing, and thousands of pounds had been transferred to a fake consultancy. Then my ex traced the money. The consultancy had paid the hotel, florist, photographer, band, dress boutique, and even the honeymoon flights. She had financed the wedding around us with money taken from customers and lenders. Callum sat down on one of the terrace chairs. My mother said everyone was overreacting. She argued that my sister had intended to repay the company after the wedding. She said using business money temporarily was not the same as stealing. Marcus asked where the repayment money was supposed to come from. My sister said Northbridge had a major pharmaceutical contract due to begin that autumn. Marcus opened another file. The contract did not exist. Northbridge had submitted a proposal, but the pharmaceutical company had rejected it months earlier. My sister had continued listing the projected revenue in lender documents. The £74,000 loan had been approved partly because of that forecast and partly because the supposed guarantor owned property. Me. Callum removed his wedding ring. My sister stared at him. "You cannot do this here. You did all of it here." She said she had only hidden the company because she knew he would judge her for working with Marcus. Callum replied that Marcus was no longer the central problem. The hotel manager approached after hearing raised voices and asked whether the reception should continue. Callum said no. Guests were told there had been a private emergency. Staff secured the gifts and began clearing drinks from tables that had not yet been used. My mother blamed me before the first guests reached the lobby. She said I should have signed the form and dealt with the issue after the honeymoon. I asked whether she understood what the form did. It would have bought time. For whom? Your sister. And what would it have cost me? She did not answer. The lender could seek a judgment against me. Even if the fraud was eventually proven, my credit record, mortgage options, and legal costs could be affected for months or years. My sister had used the one substantial asset I had spent my adult life building because she assumed I would not notice until she had repaired the damage. That was the family pattern reduced to a financial strategy. Use Selena, she is stable, she can absorb it. Marcus gave me copies of the guarantee, the false email messages, the loan application, and the company transactions. I called my bank from the hotel car park. By midnight, I had placed fraud warnings on my credit files, contacted the lender, reported the guarantee, and filed a police report. My sister sent messages until nearly 3 in the morning. First, she denied forging anything. Then she said our mother had misunderstood the paperwork. Then she admitted submitting the guarantee, but claimed she had expected to replace it before the loan became due. Finally, she threatened me. If I pursued the fraud report, employees would lose their jobs, customers would lose deposits, Marcus would be professionally ruined, and our mother could be prosecuted. She described every consequence except the one she had created for me. The next morning, Marcus and I met at his office. I did not trust him, but he had access to the records. He showed me the lender's onboarding file. The application had not been approved using a copied signature alone. The lender had required a remote video identity check. Someone had appeared on camera claiming to be me. The footage was poor quality. The woman wore her hair tied back and sat in a dark room. She held my passport scan beside her face and answered basic questions about my address and employment. My sister and I looked enough alike that a careless contractor had accepted her, but the person on screen wore my sister's wedding ring from a previous engagement. The lender's reviewer had not noticed. I did. So did the police officer who later watched the recording. The audio made it even clearer. My sister and I did not sound alike. She spoke faster, dropped the ends of certain words, and repeatedly used the phrase, "to be honest," something I almost never said. The fraud no longer depended on handwriting experts or conflicting family stories. She had recorded herself doing it. The lender still had the identity check video used to approve the loan in my name. My sister appeared in a dark room holding my passport and claiming to be me. We looked similar enough to fool a careless reviewer, but she was wearing an old engagement ring, and the moment she spoke, the impersonation was obvious. Northbridge entered administration 3 weeks later. The company had fewer debts than Marcus initially feared, but the damage was still substantial. 6 employees lost their jobs. Several customers received only partial refunds. 2 small suppliers were left with unpaid invoices large enough to threaten their own businesses. My sister used those losses to portray herself as the victim. She told relatives that I had destroyed a viable company over a misunderstanding. According to her version, I had verbally agreed to support the loan and changed my mind when the business struggled. Some relatives believed her because accepting fraud would require them to admit what our family had become. Others said the situation was too complicated to take sides. It was not complicated. My identity had been used without permission. A lender had been deceived. Company funds had paid personal expenses. The only complicated part was deciding how much responsibility belonged to each person. Marcus cooperated with investigators and the insolvency administrator. He admitted that he had never verified my involvement and had ignored obvious warning signs because the company was profitable. His professional body suspended him for several months and required additional supervision when he returned to practice. He lost clients and eventually left public accounting work. He apologized to me once. He did not ask for forgiveness. I respected that more than I expected to. My mother was interviewed about the passport scan. She insisted she believed I had agreed to support the company. Investigators recovered messages between her and my sister. In one, my sister wrote, "Elena must not receive anything at her flat." My mother replied, "Use my address. She never checks company records." After that, my mother claimed she had not understood what the messages meant. She still asked me to withdraw my complaint. She said prison would ruin my sister's life. I asked what losing my home would have done to mine. She replied that I had not actually lost it. That sentence ended our relationship more completely than any argument could have. Callum applied for an annulment. Whether the marriage met the legal standard for annulment was uncertain, so his solicitor also began divorce proceedings. He moved out immediately and refused to pay any of the wedding expenses that had not already been settled. The honeymoon was cancelled. My sister moved back into our mother's house. The lender withdrew its claim against me after reviewing the video, device records, false email account, and company files. Removing the fraudulent guarantee from my credit history took nearly 8 months. During that period, I postponed refinancing my flat and paid a higher interest rate than I otherwise would have. I spent thousands on legal advice and document checks. My sister eventually pleaded guilty to fraud by false representation and offenses involving company records. She claimed she had always intended to replace my guarantee once the business stabilized. The court accepted that she had not initially planned for the company to fail. That did not make the fraud accidental. She received a custodial sentence, part of which was suspended, along with compensation and financial restriction orders. The sentence satisfied nobody. Former employees thought it was too light. Our mother thought it was barbaric. I stopped measuring the outcome by whether my sister had suffered enough. The practical victory was narrower. The debt was not mine. My flat remained mine. The false guarantee was removed. My name was no longer connected to Northbridge. Almost 2 years after the wedding, Marcus posted the black folder to me. Inside were the final company records, the lender's confirmation, and a short note saying he thought I should keep the complete file. At the bottom was the original loan planning sheet. My name had not appeared on the first version. The proposed guarantor had been Callum. His name had been crossed out in my sister's handwriting. Beside it, our mother had written, "Use Alina instead. She already owns property and all her post can come here."
You've been listening to Low Light Stories, original fiction for late night listening. New stories are added regularly, so subscribe if you'd like to hear the next one. Thanks for listening.